Compound interest is one of the most powerful ways to build wealth, and almost everything about it is designed to make you quit before it works. For years, your money can grow so slowly that you genuinely start wondering whether anything is happening at all. That's exactly where most people give up. The problem isn't that people don't understand the math, it's that they don't understand what compounding is supposed to feel like. Albert Einstein is often credited with calling compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Whether or not he actually said it, the idea behind it is real, and it's also one of the most misunderstood concepts in all of personal finance. Most people have heard the term, almost nobody actually feels it, and that difference is exactly why so many people never fully take advantage of it. Let's start with the problem. Compound interest is usually explained with a formula, a percentage, and a chart with a line curving upward. Technically accurate, emotionally meaningless. Nobody changes their financial behavior because they saw a formula. And that's the real issue. Compound interest isn't a math problem most people fail to solve. It's a concept most people fail to feel, because it doesn't reward you the way most things in life reward you. Here's why most people get this wrong. Humans are wired to respond to fast, visible feedback. Work a shift, get paid. Study for a test, get a grade. Post something online, get an immediate reaction. Compound interest doesn't work like that. In the first few years, it gives you almost nothing back that feels significant. No visible reward, no dramatic shift, nothing that feels like progress. So the brain, wired for quick feedback loops, quietly concludes that it isn't working, even when it actually is. Let's break down the financial explanation of what's actually happening during that invisible period. Compound interest means your investment returns don't just come from the money you originally contributed. They come from growth generating its own additional growth. Your money earns a return. That return gets added to your original amount. Then, next period, you earn a return on that new, slightly larger total, not just on your original contribution. This sounds simple. It is simple, but the effect it creates isn't intuitive, because the early stages of this process are almost flat, while the later stages become dramatically steep, and most people give up during the almost flat part. Let's put real numbers behind this to make it concrete. Imagine investing $10,000 in a diversified index fund, a fund that holds small pieces of hundreds of companies rather than betting on just one, using a long-term historical average return of around 7% annually after inflation, understanding that actual returns vary significantly year to year and are never guaranteed. After the first year, that investment might grow to roughly $10,700. $700 of growth. Noticeable, but not exactly life-changing. After 10 years, assuming that same average rate continued consistently, which real markets rarely do in a straight line, that $10,000 could grow to roughly $19,700. Almost double. That already feels more meaningful. But here's where the real distortion happens. After 30 years, under those same simplified assumptions, that original $10,000 could grow to more than $76,000. Not because the growth rate changed, because the growth had 30 years to build on itself instead of 10. Here's the part that trips almost everyone up. The growth between year 20 and year 30 is dramatically larger than the growth between year 1 and year 10, even though the percentage return stayed exactly the same the entire time. The curve isn't lying to you. Your intuition about how growth should feel is what's actually wrong. Let's look at a real-world comparison that makes this even clearer. Imagine two investors. Investor A starts putting money into a diversified index fund at age 25. Investor B waits until age 35, then invests significantly more money each month to try to catch up. Even though Investor B contributes more money overall in many cases, Investor A frequently ends up with more total wealth by retirement age. The reason isn't that Investor A was smarter or contributed more skillfully. It's that Investor A's money had an extra 10 years sitting inside that compounding process, and those early years, the ones that felt the most uneventful and unrewarding at the time, ended up mattering more than almost any other years in the entire timeline. This is exactly why most people never truly understand compound interest, not intellectually, but experientially. They understand the definition, they can repeat the formula, but they've never actually sat through 15 or 20 uneventful years watching a number grow slowly, feeling like nothing significant is happening, only to look up later and realize the slow, boring middle section was actually the most important part of the entire process. Here's a common myth worth addressing directly. Many people believe compound interest only becomes meaningful once you have a large amount of money to invest. This gets the entire concept backwards. Compound interest is actually most powerful specifically when it has the most time to work, which means starting early with a small amount frequently outperforms starting later with a much larger amount, purely because of how many compounding periods that money gets to experience. Waiting for a larger sum before starting doesn't just delay your investing. It actively sacrifices the specific years where compounding, mathematically, does the most disproportionate work. There's also a deeper psychological reason people struggle to internalize this, tied to something called money psychology, which is simply the study of how people think and feel about money and how that shapes their financial decisions. Humans generally experience the pain of a financial loss more intensely than the pleasure of an equivalent financial gain. Compound interest, especially in its early years, doesn't produce dramatic gains to offset that feeling. It produces something closer to silence. No big win to celebrate, no dramatic loss to react to, just a quiet, incremental process that doesn't trigger much emotional response either way. Humans aren't naturally built to stay motivated by silence, which is exactly why so many people abandon consistent investing during the years when it matters most. So what's the actionable strategy that comes out of all this? The first step is automating your contributions through something called dollar cost averaging, meaning you invest a fixed amount on a regular schedule, regardless of whether the market is up or down that particular day. This matters enormously here, because it removes your need to feel motivated by visible progress in order to keep going. The system runs whether or not you're emotionally engaged with it that week. The second step is deliberately avoiding frequent checking of your account balance during the early years. Since compound interest produces very little visible change in its early stages, checking constantly mostly exposes you to short-term volatility, the natural ups and downs in investment value, without the compensating reward of visible long-term growth. This combination tends to trigger anxiety and premature withdrawals, precisely during the years when staying invested matters most. The third step is reframing what progress actually looks like during this process. Progress isn't the number changing dramatically. Progress is simply staying invested consistently, year after year, while the invisible mechanism underneath continues operating exactly as it's designed to, regardless of whether it currently feels like anything meaningful is happening. Here's the key insight most people miss entirely, and it's really the entire point of this video. Compound interest doesn't reward drama. It rewards patience during periods that specifically feel like nothing is happening. Every other reward system in modern life, work, entertainment, social media, is built around fast, visible feedback. Compound interest is built around the complete opposite. And because humans are wired for quick feedback, the specific behavior compound interest requires, staying calm and consistent through long stretches of apparent nothing, runs directly against basic human psychology. That's not a flaw in the strategy. That's simply the actual cost of accessing one of the most powerful wealth-building tools available to an ordinary investor. Think about it this way. If someone offered you a process that required no special skill, no market predictions, and no large starting amount, but did require you to feel like very little was happening for years at a time before the results became undeniable, would you actually follow through? Most people say yes in theory. Very few do in practice, specifically because that invisible stretch feels like proof that nothing is working, right up until it very obviously is. So here's your actionable takeaway. If you're currently in the early, unremarkable stage of investing consistently and it doesn't feel like anything significant is happening yet, that's not a signal that something is wrong. Historically, that's exactly what the early stage of compound interest looks and feels like for almost everyone who eventually benefits from it. The lesson most people never truly learn isn't the math behind compound interest. It's the patience required to sit through the part of the process that doesn't yet look like anything at all. If you want to learn more about investing, wealth building, and financial freedom, subscribe to Finance Lab and turn on notifications.